Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So it's been a very crazy 48 hours, especially on Twitter. It's been an eye-opening experience where we've seen people go completely mask off over an event relating to American politics. Now, what was that event? Well, very quickly to summarize, on Saturday there was an assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. Miraculously, he would only be grazed in the ear by one of the bullets, and the shooter was immediately dispatched. However, the unfortunate news is that an innocent bystander had their life taken by a stray bullet. Now, the reaction to this on social media, Twitter in particular, has been absolutely disgusting. And as Chibi Reviews here points out, it has been an eye-opening experience to see how many people lack a moral compass. People on Twitter were glorifying and encouraging acts of violence like we saw on Saturday against people who they have different political views than. It is absolutely disgusting what people are saying, and it's from all over, all walks of life. People are saying these crazy things. You have people even like Jack Black saying next time the shooter better not miss. And yesterday I spent some time and talked about what's going on in the VTuber scene. A lot of people were making various comments in the VTubing scene about this event. Very disgusting comments. We saw some mainly from Tricky, but we covered some other VTubers as well. And today we're going to do just that. We're going to keep looking at more VTubers saying this stuff and also look at some members of the game industry as well as game journalists who are saying similar things about this event. And before we get into the new examples, I just want to really reflect here for a second. I spent a lot of time going through the comments of this video, and I have to say I am very, very impressed with how people reacted to this video. I am happy to see people from all ends of the political spectrum, people from all walks of life, coming together and realizing that glorifying and encouraging violence over politics is too far. And I'm glad people got there and made that realization together, but I'm not surprised that people were doing that in the comments of my video. So what did we talk about? Well, a lot of VTubers, like these ones right here, making disgusting comments about the situation. However, today we're going to focus on a new one from a VTuber named Pepper. So what is Pepper up to? Well, she made this tweet saying this. Oh, right, since my timeline won't stop and I just saw a similar post, I want to say something about that assassination attempt yesterday. I think they should have had better aim. I'm all for game-ending people who shouldn't be in power. We British people have done similar many times. So this person is openly saying that not only should Donald Trump have been actually assassinated on Saturday, they're also saying they are all for game-ending people that they believe shouldn't be in power. Totally mask off. And they would go even further saying this. Basically, I'm saying some people deserve it. Project 2025 could harm Americans a lot. For one, they want to take away women's rights to vote and ban abortions nationwide from what I've seen. And God, we've fought enough to have it. If it happens, I will go over there and help myself. This is absolutely insane. People like this are so delusional and their worldview is so delusional that they're living in an episode of The Handmaid's Tale, okay? They really think these things are going to happen, that women are going to lose their right to vote if Donald Trump is elected president. That is absolutely insane. And also this mention of Project 2025, I just want to share this funny DM I got. Some people were a little angry about my video yesterday. You know, the video where I condemned political violence. This person said, bro, F you, hypocrite, and F Project 2025, effing Nazi. You make lolicons look like garbage. As a left-wing lolicon myself. Wow, thanks for sharing all of that. Yeah, that's a new one. I've been called a Nazi for 5,000 different reasons that don't make any sense, but hey, at least this one's a new one, right? Condemning political violence is apparently a core tenet of the Nazi party. But anyways, back to the VTuber in question here, Pepper. The only thing they would actually respond to when they're being very heavily criticized for their comments about this situation, this was the only thing they replied to. Someone calling them fat. That was the only thing they felt was important enough to respond to by showing a picture of themselves to disprove that. They don't care that they're being labeled as this crazy person who's encouraging violence against people they don't politically agree with. They're concerned about how people view their physical appearance. That is absolutely insane. And like I said, we're going to see many different people from all walks of life getting in trouble for this stuff. Let's focus on a new person. This post made by Mark Kern saying, brand ambassador for Smite, encourage Trump shooter to try again since taken down. and defends her belief that the assassination attempt was faked. Yes, I don't know what it is about brand ambassadors. It's always ambassadors to whether it's Twitch, games, what have you, who say the most unhinged stuff with this label in their bio. It's like showing up to a public space wearing your work uniform and then saying a bunch of crazy stuff. It is a terrible idea. But here's what they said. In a now deleted tweet, they said, if at first you don't succeed, ... a very unsubtle encouragement of people doing more violent acts like they did on Saturday. And then they said this. This is so staged, though, and going to be very effective, which is a straight-up conspiracy theory. This is straight-up misinformation. Like, this is crazy that they would say this. But they would go further and say, to be 100% clear, I absolutely believe the target of today's shooting would sacrifice his own supporters to further his candidacy. I think that is the ultimate tragedy behind the Trump grift. He does not care about the people who have made him who he is. At the time I made this initial tweet, I had seen that no one was seriously injured in the shooting today. Knowing now that 2 died, I regret using flippant language, but I do believe it is wrong to speculate about the political implications of an assassination attempt. By the way, they're saying 2 people died. One of them was the shooter, by the way. And they're seemingly expressing some sort of sympathy for that. That's very interesting. But yeah, in reaction to all this, they have privated their account like everyone else does in these situations. They say the most out-of-pocket stuff on Twitter, and the second they receive any criticism, they immediately run and hide. So now we're going to move on to the next section of this video, the games journalist who had to say something about this situation, and it probably doesn't surprise you to see these familiar faces like Alyssa Mercante from Kotaku, who had this initially to say, making jokes about the shooter, and Mark Kern saying, did you tweet and delete these, tagging her on Twitter right here. And the funny thing is, I don't have an issue with these particular tweets. She's making fun of the shooter, which is totally fair game, but I think it's more funny because they would start tweeting and then immediately change course, as Mark Kern would point out. They would make a few tweets on the situation and all of a sudden delete everything, and then instead of actually tweeting, they would just spam retweets, basically sharing their thoughts through other people to, I guess, avoid getting criticism themselves. Sharing stuff like this saying, the dumbass who stared longingly into the sun during an eclipse stood up out of the Secret Service's protection for a photo op without knowing there were more shooters. And that is just complete misinformation. At that point, they knew the threat was neutralized. And when he put his fist up in the air, that was just to defy everything that was going on and to show strength. And I think it's really funny that Twitter people like this must think it's staged for someone to show toughness and bravery. They think it must be some sort of a dumb decision or something that's staged. But anyways, Alyssa wasn't the only person at Kotaku who was doing this strategy of just retweeting other people's words. And Carolyn here, we've talked about it before, would do the same, retweeting all of these messages, even saying or retweeting a message that said that they don't care about Trump's health, basically being very flippant of this whole situation and acting like this entire assassination attempt was taking attention away from what's happening in Gaza. And they had an issue with that. And on top of that, this is her latest retweet saying, political violence is when violence is done to a politician. Everything they cause is a different thing, and you shouldn't worry about it. That's a very strange thing to share after an attempted assassination. But anyways, let's move on to another person we've seen on this channel, a producer from Halo. Now you can see they're locked down as well because they made this tweet saying if y'all cared even half this much when it's a school of children, we'd be a much safer place. So they're using this situation to virtue signal about gun rights. And this is the same person, we talked about this in a previous video, who made a tweet stating, I honestly don't think I could work on a game that glorifies or fantasizes modern guns, Call of Duty, Battlefield, RB6. I've had moments I've struggled with Halo, but the weapons and world is pretty sci-fi, which creates a large enough separation from reality. This is the person who's going to tell you about gun rights, the person who literally can't separate fiction from reality and has a meltdown if guns in a video game look a little too realistic. So this whole situation, the past 48 hours or so, has been very eye-opening, like I said earlier. And I think everyone here should take a look around. I'm probably not going to make another video going through people making comments about the assassination attempt. I think you guys get the point, but still be vigilant. Go around, see what people are saying, because VTubers, content creators, celebrities, what have you, they're all going completely mask off. They feel safe enough to say these completely unhinged and violent things, and they think they're going to get away with it. But a lot of them are playing their ukulele today. A lot of them are trying to apologize and move on and delete their tweets and act like nothing happened. But pay attention. Let them speak. Let them out themselves as these terrible people that they are, and take note of it. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys listening. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.